Back here on CBS Sports HQ, it's a new era for Notre Dame. This guy, CJ Carr, is their new starting quarterback. So he beat out Kenny Minchey for the starting nod. In camp, it was a close race, and we kind of kept hearing it was too close to call, right? It was kind of back and forth. It was a battle for that QB1 spot between the two guys. They were battling to take over for Riley Leonard, who is currently with the Colts after leading the Irish to a national championship game just 1 year ago. And the Irish have a big test to start the year, don't we know it? They will hit the road to take on number 10 Miami next Sunday night. So let's welcome in our college football analyst Chip Patterson here to talk about it. Great to see you, Chip. Notre Dame naming CJ Carr their starting quarterback. It was a close race. That's what we kept hearing literally up until like this past week. So why do you think that Notre Dame ultimately went with CJ Carr as their starting QB?
Because I think that the plan and the projection for what CJ Carr was going to be able to do with Notre Dame included him being able to take the starting job. I think the fact that it took this long for him to be named the starter pointed to two things. Number one, how Kenny Minchey performed, how he brought his lunch pail, how his work ethic was complimented by the coaches, and he really pushed CJ Carr. But number two, I don't think CJ Carr had a great start to camp. We know from some of the portions that media were able to see that turnovers were a little bit of an issue during that first week. But if he cleaned those things up and he was able to answer everything that Notre Dame asked of him, then he was going to be taking over. Because, Jacqueline, when you recruit a player of Carr's caliber, of his pedigree, #1 player from the state of Michigan, grandson of former Michigan head coach Lloyd Carr, you do it with a little bit of a playbook, an idea of what his development is going to go like. Last year, he does run as the third stringer behind Riley Leonard and Minchey. But I think the coaching staff was looking for Carr to really grab a hold of that QB1 job. Might have taken longer than expected, but that's at least where we have landed, as he will be the starter in a very tough opener against Miami.
I was going to say August 31st, excuse me, a lot of eyeballs on that matchup, certainly. So in some other starting quarterback news in college football, we saw two true freshmen getting the starting nod at quarterback at Cal and BYU. So, Chip, is this like the new normal in the CFP here for, you know, the NIL portal era that we're living in currently in college football? Are we going to start to see more of that, you think?
Well, certainly coaches are going to be more willing to go with talent as opposed to waiting for that talent to get experienced, because talented players who don't get playing time, they are the top candidates to hit the transfer portal the next time that it opens. Some of those cases get a little bit interesting. Obviously at BYU, Jake Retzlaff left. He would have been the starter there if not for some of his off-field issues and honor code issues. But then when we look at the Cal situation, I do think that's one where Jaron Kiawe Sagapolitelli, he wins that job because Cal invested in him. Jaron started off as a commit to Oregon, and if you flip a kid from Oregon, that meant that you had to pull some strings and make something happen to be able to get him to go from Oregon to Cal. Now, the Ducks also were able to back that up. They have Dante Moore. Their future was solidified, but as Devin Brown came in from Ohio State and was challenging Jaron Kiawe Sagapolitelli was able to separate himself in this battle with his talent, but also because of the investment that he got from Cal bringing him in.
Chip, I'm proud of you for saying Sagapolitelli like 4 times in the matter of 2 minutes. That's a toughie. What about Michigan? Because we all keep thinking like it's Bryce Underwood, right? It has to be. They brought him in. They paid him a lot of money. Like Tom Brady was involved, right? Is there actually a quarterback battle brewing in Ann Arbor?
No. I think that the other quarterback options are not healthy enough, have not been healthy enough through fall camp. I think that Sharon Moore would have liked if this was more of a competition, but this is a matter of circumstance where those who heavily invested in Bryce Underwood and bringing him to Michigan, who probably want to see him starting the season for Michigan as the starter, they might get their way just because of the current state of that quarterback room. But I think even if Sharon Moore was going to end up with Bryce Underwood as the starter, he would have liked for there to be a little bit more of the iron sharpens iron, like what we saw at Notre Dame. But to me, whether it's the combination of the influence of those who helped get him there to just the current health of that quarterback room, this will be Bryce Underwood thrown into the fire, learning on the fly, where yes, in week 1, you've got a manageable game, but in week 2, you're going up against the Oklahoma Sooners and one of the best defenses in the SEC. So I do think it will be Bryce Underwood, matter of time before it's made official, but some of that is circumstance as much as influence.
Yeah, it would be just the 4th true freshman ever to start for Michigan in a season opener. Some other football news. Auburn, they're now claiming a total of 9 national championships, so adding 4 previously unclaimed titles to their existing 2. And the newly claimed titles are for 1910, 1914, 1958, 2004. Their AD saying, Chip, hey, we're not going to be like conservative or humble anymore. We're just going to claim what we think is ours.
Yeah, first of all, they are trying to also get you to look at their rival Alabama and what those claimed national championships look like. Those tallies can get a little bit sketchy from time to time. But for Auburn, what a newsy week. We're retiring Cam Newton's number. We've got 3 quarterbacks that could play in the opener. We've got 3 different offensive play callers. Things for the 2025 season are looking a little shaky. So whether it's Cam Newton or claiming more national championships, it's almost as if Auburn is trying to say, like, oh, don't look at our football team right now. Look at our amazing history. Remember Cam Newton? Remember Tommy Tuberville and that 2004 team? So I'm going to not fall for it, Jacqueline. I'm going to look at this Auburn team because now all of this other attention over here is making me think that the man behind the curtain is starting to sweat a little bit, unless Hugh Freeze gets credit for these national championships.
Okay, so it's like a Wizard of Oz moment where the man behind the curtain is not as powerful as we think, right, Chip? We certainly appreciate it, talking about the very latest in college football. And make sure you check out our CBS Sports HQ college football pregame show. The crew, Emily Proud, B-Mac, Damian Harris, Danny Cannell, they are hitting the road week 1 for Florida State, Bama. It's going to be a great matchup there. We've seen a lot of trash talking on the Florida State side of things, so make sure you check it out on CBS Sports HQ come week 1 on that Saturday. You can hear more from Chip over on the Cover 3 podcast. You can download, follow, listen wherever you listen to your favorite pods, or you can watch right now by scanning that QR code on your screen.